up. He's never quit. In fact, he paid it all. Faith fights feelings and always wins. I got a new grandbaby Monday, number 6. I had to keep number 5 a lot so Mom could take care of number 6. Colton's 2. He sings a song, Waymaker, Promise Keeper. You know what? Push your feelings aside because he is a promise keeper. And he'll make a way when there is no way. He parted the sea and the Israelites walked through on dry ground. And then when the soldiers got near, he said, let's just let that water come back in, and he drowned the soldiers. Feelings are just feelings. Have faith that God's going to answer. Sometimes you just got to praise through it. Sometimes you got to sing Waymaker. Sometimes you got to sing How Great Thou Art. Come on. Sometimes you just got to say, God, you are almighty. You are wonderful. You are counselor. You are Prince of Peace. You are healer. You are deliverer. You are provider. You are a miracle worker. Sometimes we just got to shout it out so that we can get past the feelings that the devil's put in place. Sometimes, yes, we're still sick. We're still hurting. But we got to hold on to faith and let him turn that situation around. Faith fights the facts. Facts are true. They don't lie. Fact is a fact. But faith overcomes facts. Doesn't matter what the fact says, God can do whatever he wants to do. And he's always got the last say. And there's nothing impossible with God. Let me take you back, since I mentioned it, in 89, Father's Day. About 4 o'clock in the morning, my dad calls me and says, you got to go get your mom Welborn Hospital. Welborn was still open then. You got to pick her up, and you got to take her to Indianapolis IU. She needs to be there within 4 hours. I'm thinking, I can't even get checked out of a hospital in 4 hours. Called them and told them what we had to do. I transported Mom to IU, only to find out it was going to be a long wait. 4 hours, whoever mentioned that was in a different ball game. They prepared Mom, flew a liver in from Memphis from a young lady that had been in an accident. We had prayed and prayed and prayed. And can remember as Mom was going into surgery, she was singing, I'm an overcomer. Had faith that God was all over that situation. It was going to be okay. It was going to be fine. But about 6 hours into surgery, when we thought they would be coming out to telling us everything was okay, big Oklahoma cowboy doctor came out. God must know I needed him. And he said, man, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I just tell you like you were my family. Your mom's not going to make it. So she lost a lot of blood. Things just ain't went the way they're supposed to be. And we're going to start bypassing the blood, but we know that one of two things is going to happen. She's either going to bleed to death, or when that blood hits that heart, she's going to have a massive heart attack and die. But the outcome either way is the same. So I'm just here to tell you that it's not going to happen. Now, the surgeon was over from London training our doctors how to do those things. And he made it clear that as we prayed with Mom as she left, that he was atheist, did not believe in God. You know, sometimes God just uses circumstances to change things. But the facts were this, that short of God, Mom was going to die on that table. Family looked at the Oklahoma doctor and said, you know, we're just going to pray. You go back and do what you need to do. We began to pray. About an hour later, the Oklahoma doctor came back out and said, hey, I went back in. I told him all you were praying. And the atheist surgeon asked me to come back out and make sure you keep praying because the facts have changed. Ever since you begin to pray, things have turned around. Keep praying. Not only did we keep praying, we called churches. Churches filled up and began to pray. You know, Mom came through that surgery. That atheist surgeon, the next day when he came by, talked to the family, he said, you know, I told you I didn't believe in God. I'm still not sure I do, but I do know this. There was a divine power that entered that room when they told me you guys were praying. And he said, I wasn't crazy enough to tell you to stop. I told him, have him keep praying. Years later, he wrote an article about my mother and said, that was my miracle lady. Gave credit to God. Listen, facts say doesn't matter. My God says this is the way it's going to be. It's the way it's going to be. Don't let it get to your head. Facts say our country's in trouble. But you know what? I believe as long as there's a remnant, rise up. And God will turn the situation around. Facts might say that you don't have long to live. Well, I'm here to say that I'll stand in faith with you. And I believe that God will turn the situation around. Facts say there's no way out. I say, if we'll stand in faith, God will turn the situation around. And God always has the last say. You know, you say, in anything? Well, I'm reminded of a story of Joshua. He was in a battle, and he was standing on faith, and he was just tearing up the enemy. He was just walking through them. I mean, he was winning every battle, but he looked out, and there's a lot of more enemy out there that he's got to conquer. And he knows God's favors upon him, and he doesn't want to wait. And he looks up, and he says, you know, it's about to get dark. And if it gets dark, my enemy will get away. And faith rose up in him, and he pointed at the sun and said, stop. You see, the earth rotates around the sun. And he knew he was running out of daylight, but he had enough faith in God that he could do whatever he wanted to do. He said, sun, stop. You know what happened? God said, I love a man of faith. There is no way I'm going to let this guy down. He stopped everything. And he said, go ahead and do what you got to get done. Take care of business, and then we'll send this thing going again. There is nothing that God can't do. What he did for others, he'll do for you. I don't know what you're facing, but I'm telling you, that God has increased my faith. And I think I'm a faith walker anyway. But this week, time after time again, things happened. I prayed. It changed. Faith fights for your future. You know what? As long as you got faith, you got tomorrow. Come on. As long as you got faith, things can change. As long as you got faith, there's a chance. As long as you got faith, you can be restored. In fact, God can restore what the enemy took from you, and he'll restore it better than ever, because he's going to make the enemy pay it back 7 times, and then he's going to bless you on top of that. You can't lose if you just believe in God. He's gonna be there. Not on my timing, but on his timing. You know, not only do I have a future, I believe, because I prayed every day, I got health for the future. I got wealth. I got deliverance. I got rapture in my future. I got a mansion and streets of gold. I'm going to see my Lord and Savior. Because I got faith in Jesus. As I studied the life of Wigglesworth, things that really stuck out to me, not just his faith, but he was a very humble person. Come on. You prayed for the sick time and time again. They get healed. You might want a bus, a plane, a big name, a TV show. But not Wigglesworth. He stayed humble. When people question, why are you better than so many? He'd say, I'm not nothing. It's God's righteousness. It's what Jesus did that makes me okay to go ahead and pray this way. You see, I'm like you. I have my faults. I make my mistakes. Come on. I mess up. I'm not perfect, not even close. Don't tell my wife. But I've accepted the righteousness of Christ. I can go boldly before the throne and say, my mother needs you. And he looks down and says, you're as white as snow. Because it's not my junk that he's looking at. It's the perfect sacrifice that was given for me that makes it okay for me to boldly stand up. I have faith today that we can ask anything in God's will, and it'll happen. We're in a fight, but it's a good fight because we win. We're not alone. When the devil shows up, God's always going to be on the scene. Good days are coming. Blessings, victory. Let's fight. Brother Mark, come and help me. Time that the church, that the remnant rises up and saying, you know what? If it's recorded in the Word, it's for me and for now. It's time that we address the hurting world that we live in, the problems of our city, and we make a difference. time like Smith Wigglesworth, like Jesus when he was on earth, like the disciples. We stood up tall, said, fear will not stop me. It is not of God. I'll have nothing to do with it. Mom and Dad, you got fear in your house. Time to stand up tall. Say, it's got to go. This is not of God. It's not welcome in my home. My God is a God that heals. I don't believe God's people got to walk around sick. I believe that God still heals. I believe that when he gets ready to take me to heaven, he can take me healthy just the same as he can take me sick. So why does he need me to be sick? But I believe that it's got to be more than a want, more than a hope. It's got to be a prayer of faith. I believe that my God still delivers. Come on. Those that are bound by addictions. I believe addictions can be broke. Right now, I believe my God is a restorer. Restorer of families, of marriages, broken hearts. What the devil has taken, God will restore. Peace, happiness. I believe my God, most of all, is a Savior. You ain't done nothing bad enough that he won't forgive, and that Jesus wasn't good enough to pay it all. So, just a few minutes here, we're going to open the altars up. If you're a guest, we urge, we'll love you to participate. But if you need prayer today, first of all, you need Jesus. We want to help you find him. If you're not certain that if you died, you would go to heaven, we need you to be certain. We want you to be there. If you're battling sickness, addictions, you need restoration, my God is able. And we've been praying all week long. Our faith is at an increased level. We're believing that God's going to touch and change lives today. As Mark begins to play and sing, the altars are open, the elders are coming. Our prayer team is coming. You need something from God, this would be a good time for you to come and get it. Come on, join us at the altar.
They say this mountain can't be moved. They say these chains will never